I want to try Raising Cane's, but there's not one like
it's in
close.
Portland. You gotta go to Oregon. I know. Yeah, Raising Cane's. That's where I was, it's fucking trauma for me because when I was in Portland at the incident, we were walking to Raising Cane's.
Oh, bitch.
So I never got my Raising Cane's.
You never even got to try it.
Because they got like the bread there or something.
The sweet
Texas
salty bread, the
toast.
Texas
Right?
toast.
Yeah.
You've had it before? Oh,
No.
Right.
It looks
We just
so...
went over this, Kelcey.
Okay, I heard that the chicken is kind of mid, but it's the sauce that
Yeah.
makes it.
Yeah.
The sauce.
Mm-hmm.
So, Raising Cane's, Chick-fil-A.
Like Chick-fil-A is like, I think, properly hyped, if not,
Girl, don't
underrated a
spill
little
it.
bit. People love to like Shake Shack is mid.
Yeah, it was so
In-N-Out
disappointing.
is good, but it's way overhyped. It's plain. It's
Their
good. It's just
fries look disgusting.
They look real bad.
I've never
look
had like
gross.
the fancy fries.
Animal ones.
Yeah, I've never had that. But like their burgers are like they're good. They're just a plain burger. Like
Is it
nothing.
like comparable to like Five Guys?
Five Guys is better in my opinion.
Mm.
Yeah, because their burgers I feel like are a little bit thicker, but like In-N-Out is just like it's just like good like real food, right? Like it's hot. You can
Yeah.
tell they make it fresh, but it's very just no special sauce or anything. Like that's it.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I need to try Wingstop.
Yeah.
My
where's the
life
closest Wingstop?
is Burlington.
Oh, okay, that's not bad.
That's
It's
not
close.
bad.
There's,
Hour and a
there's a
half drive.
Chick-fil-A I think opening there too.
That's
So
why
I
we're
wanna-
going.
yeah.
There's a crumble cookie opening here.
Yes, in Coquitlam.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I
Best
will be
believe.
going.
Do I know nothing?
No, because I was telling her yesterday, and she was like, "The what?" And I was like, "Crumble cookie,
cookies.
bitch." You know what? I shouldn't set my expectations too high. I feel like I'll be
Because every
disappointed.
time something from the U.S. comes up here, it's fucking trash.
Yes.
But even like when we were gonna go to Wingstop, I was like, "Let's hit up Crumble after." And I hear so many mixed reviews about it, so
Even
I
in
don't
the States?
even in the States, like because they have different cookies every week,
Right. It
and
varies.
so you could go and it could be like shit flavors that week. So
Yeah.
Kelsey's like, I don't even eat chicken,
Like,
bitch. I don't give a shit about the
ain't got nothing
Wingstop.
to do with me.
Yep.
You can have
Nothing.
this
But I always
Texas
see the lemon
toast.
pepper or whatever looks nice or whatever. That lemon pepper wings or
Every
I'll
time,
let
yeah.
flavors.
I
Whatever
might
ones.
bring this microphone and make a little mukbang for
ASMR,
you
yeah.
guys.
Nobody asked, and yet again, Aisha's.
I don't know why you guys do not like. Have you never like?
See,
I don't like that.
It's
I
the
don't.
crunchy one specifically. I hate the
No.
chewing sound. It's the crunchy ones.
No.
Really?
What I
don't like that.
What I do though, when I start craving crab, I like
Oh my
to
gosh.
watch
The crabs are here.
mukbangs.
The crabs are here.
We should post that on TikTok because
We
everyone
really
keeps
should.
telling me that I need to post
It
it,
is.
and
It's
it's
the best. I think about that all the fucking times. Oh my god!
No,
oh
I literally
my
have to
god!
rewatch
It's alive!
that.
Oh my god! It's alive!
and then my dog in the background
Yes.
like, what the hell's up with her? Oh, such a good time. But no,
Every time you crave
Chocolate.
crabs.
yes, ever since I've been craving, I literally my mouth is starting to water right now.
No, Kelcey and crab is
Yeah.
it truly is.
Get up.
That's it.
It's like so nice when you just crack it and then you can pull out
Ugh.
the long and then you dip it in that garlic.
Just look like spiders of the sea.
Literally. Anyways, so anytime I crave crab and I'm like, oh, I can't have it because you know me, if I fixate. If I want something, I want it right then, and I can't have it right away because it's like 1 a.m. So I'll watch like a mukbang and people will eat and crack the crabs and stuff like that and they'll be eating, but like that's the only time I'll watch like, and it's technically ASMR.
Nah, because some of them
It
are
is.
fucked up. You see those big ones with like the fucking huge sauce and they're dunking the entire. I'm like,
yeah,
Okay, I
that
will
just
say-
looks like modified.
yeah.
It's funny that you say you like those ones because I hate the ones where they're eating crab because it's not crunchy. Like it has to
You
be.
crack the crab
I don't like that.
legs.
I don't like that. I don't like that.
I like the ones where it's like a crispy chicken strip and they're like. I don't know that, but another thing
I think
I
it's
don't
like overstimulating for me. I don't like that.
another thing I don't like about ASMR people is the ones who buy too much food.
Yes,
so
so
you're
wasteful.
wasting
What are you
it.
doing? Yeah.
But then you see some of these people and they can eat.
Yeah, some of them finish it.
I
hate the
always
ones-
think of that Nico avocado guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
how he like went through like so many different like
Weights,
he was
yeah.
so skinny, then he got so big, and then
Yeah.
you'd see what he it just like
I think he lost the weight again.
again.
I think he
Damn.
did. I don't correct me if I'm wrong. I
Yeah.
think he did.
Good
Yeah.
for him.
Yeah.
It's almost like a fetish thing of like the burrito girls who will like eat the burrito and then it gets
Oh
on
my
their fucking
gosh.
mouth. It's like
Ew, I've never seen
put the food in your
this.
fucking mouth. I don't want to see it on around
We
your
should
fucking
add
mouth.
that to the last episode.
I know. This is coming out after that, I think, but I need to add that on to things that piss me off.
We're
People
adding
like
that.
will purposely like chew and then the food is still like around their mouth. I'm like, why do you
Oh my
like why are you
gosh.
eating that? That's disgusting.
It's
Oh,
like the same but diff, but like you know the like oh, daddy, where they do like the super blushed and the
Yeah.
nose, and they do like the little animes,
Ooh,
and they
ooh?
all talk like yes.
Oh,
they're,
there's
like,
one girl
grown
who
women
does it.
that act like
Yeah.
they're children,
Weird.
and then men are obviously liking it, or
Yeah.
whoever these people are, like that. It's
Weird.
kind of in that same world
Yeah.
of like trying to be
Yeah.
sexy, and it's like
Yeah.
you're being a child, and they do that weird,
There's
Ugh.
one
Oh,
girl
yeah.
specifically. I remember I was sending it in our group chat, and her thing would always come on my For You page,
Yeah, because
and
you send it.
it would be her like biting into like a burrito.
It's always a burrito,
It's
yeah.
always the burrito, and they pour like the queso on top, and like the bite will be like you could have easily taken that bite and not had anything go on your face, but you could just tell she's purposely
It's
like
on fucking purpose, and it's
and then
disgusting.
like some of the food is like coming. They do it for every single bite.
I'm not on that side. Thank
Oh,
God.
it's so
It's,
annoying.
you know, on the same, I hate to make this whole episode about the things we hate, but
But
now we're
here
on it.
we are.
You know what I hate is when you're watching a TikTok, like a POV, or like, you know, come clean with me or whatever, and the bitches, I'm not wearing a long sleeve, but if I was, the bitches who
Oh my
What the hell?
Have their
pull your fucking sleeve up,
have their
pull your fucking sleeve up,
is getting
Ariana,
in whatever they're
because it's
touching.
giving. I love that
Ariana.
Oh, because
But at least it's not that she's doing shit with it. She's just like, you know, walking around like that, whatever. When you're like holding things, unboxing things, whatever, and your fucking sleeve is like this.
like, how does it
pull
not
your
bother
fucking
you?
sleeve up? Yeah,
And it's not in the way.
I
and
do
stuff.
love the meme of like Ariana washing her hands and it's like her sleeve.
Oh, I
Sleeve
yes,
is literally
yes.
in the water.
I've seen that.
But I hate that. It's just people who are. To me, it gives me pick me bitch because it's just like you're trying to be like aesthetic.
Cute, see, I'm so cute.
Pull your fucking sleeves up. Use your appendages, like
not the appendages.
phalanges, whatever you call them.
Phalanges.
That's what you call fingers.
That's like a. Isn't that like a
Phalanges?
a bone?
No.
In your fingers. Or
I'm
something?
pretty
No,
sure, but
that's-
I don't have much credibility here.
Bitch, I'm pretty sure that's like a bone in your fingers.
No, I swear. Hold on.
No,
let me
Google
look it up.
please,
I'm
because
looking
we
it up.
don't need a
looking it
part
up.
2, babe.
It is. I
Nothing's
swear.
never gonna live this down.
Never.
Anytime
Never,
you
ever,
say
ever.
we should Google that.
I swear that's
It's
like.
PH, not F.
There's
Oops.
you have like your
Phalanges,
carpals,
phalanges.
metacarpals, and then there's like phalanges at the end.
Okay, it's kind of 50-50. The 14 bones that are found in the fingers of each hand.
Yeah.
So that's both. Phalanges.
And
Use
it's
your
both.
phalanges.
No, bitch. That's not how that works.
It's the hand. It's just the bones in them. I didn't specify that it wasn't the bone. I just said these are your phalanges.
Hey, I know nothing. So.
I love how we both looked at Kelcey.
I'm like, what y'all looking at me for?
I was waiting for
This is
some,
what happens.
I
This
got
is
shit
what
to
happens.
some validation or something.
Listen, I
you
know to shut the fuck up.
Pick a side,
What I
bitch.
don't know.
Like,
Listen,
No,
pick a side.
I
No,
say it's both because you said bones and I said hand. So I'll take a win for both of us. Look at us working together.
I did take 2
I love
semesters
that.
of biology, but whatever.
I
It's
did.
fine.
I took grade 12. No, I don't remember.
Child, I took
It's
it in
irrelevant.
college.
Because
It's relevant. It's very relevant.
What the fuck am I using it now? Do you
I'm
think
saying
I
it's
could have used
irrelevant that we're not in those worlds anymore.
Oh.
anything?
Anyways,
Yeah, literally.
fuck.
Listen, bitch, I'm still in that world.
Why did they teach us how to do taxes? How about that?
Now let's talk about... No, just kidding.
Yeah, because I
Man.
could go on a whole thing on taxes. I really could.
Let's
so
not even start.
I'm gonna spare everyone.
Fuck the government.
But what I would like to know is what was going on with y'all, because we haven't really talked in a bit. We had our little episode before that we did, and then our schedules were just not aligning, and shit was happening. So like we haven't really caught up.
Life was lifing.
So I want to know, was it?
Well, we haven't really talked about the lost episode 2.
Oh.
That was a whole thing.
All right,
That's like a part of our week, kind of. Like, it happened during
Yeah,
that
it did.
time.
I was on my computer. I was like, ready to edit, drag and drop. I'm having the video going. I drag in everyone's audio. I'm playing it. I mute because obviously when I record on the phone, it records audio there too. I can't just mute the phone, so I mute that, and I'm like, it sounds like I'm still playing from the phone. Like I'm getting a very wide sound stage. Well, one of the mics was not set to this thing. It was set to the computer, and that therefore it just recorded everyone. And the feeling I had when I pressed, I was like, it was an hour and a half video. I was like, an hour and a half gone.
Yep.
why the fuck are you looking at me?
Listen, I was really trying not to.
No, 'cause
I
you're
was...
such a bitch.
I was...
You're a bitch.
I was...
Because I thought we were gonna be
No, because the way, I mean, first of all, the way I sent it in the text message, y'all were like, what is going on? Like, I'm sure you probably thought somebody died or whatever.
Literally,
like,
the way you did that,
No,
I was like,
you should not have done that.
I know. And then
You should not have
and you were
done
like,
that.
who was it? Who was it? I was like, I will only say if we all agree that we want us to say who it was, but I don't care who it is. Because I said, I do not want the smoke if it was me, and I do not want to give the smoke if it's not me.
So, okay, so when you said that, I already knew it wasn't me because when you guys left, I had clicked play on my
And
thing
heard it.
and I was listening
Yeah.
to my own thing. So I was like, well, it wasn't fucking me, bitch.
Well, let me just say that we had done it before and I had played it back and it was working. But no, obviously it didn't.
Anyways, technology's a bitch.
Yeah.
I'm like, this shit is hard.
So that happened.
But honestly,
and we were
even when I was like editing it and like going through, I was like, there were like so many problems with that anyway. Like that was when you stopped recording at one point. We had to like stop that, and then like I
that
can't
was
remember.
a cursed day.
It literally
It
was
just-
like that.
the
It just wasn't meant
universe
to be. It was
didn't
meant to be a
want us.
YouTube exclusive, I guess. So
Check that
go
out.
watch it
if
on
you
YouTube
haven't.
because it's a good conversation.
So your week, I guess at this rate, it's like your last 2 weeks, 3
Girls,
weeks.
like the last month,
I don't
like
even
I still
know.
have. I was literally thinking about like I wanted to talk about like everything that happened with my car and everything too. Like that was a while ago, so I drove over a rock basically, and that rock fucked my shit up, and now I have to get my panel fixed. Oh, I didn't even think I told you guys either. So obviously, I think I've shown the pictures too. Like it like shattered my fucking mud flap because I drove over it with my front tire, and then it made its way out, but hit my like it's called the rocker panel, like the lower whatever. And then literally, tell me why, like 2-3 days ago or whatever now, maybe a week ago, whatever. My coworker always parks next to me when we're at work or whatever, and he texts me a picture of my tire. He's like, "Your tire has a bulge on it." I was like,
Oh my
A
god.
bulge.
"Yeah." So when you see a tire that has
Oh.
like just like basically like a lump, like
Yeah.
it's usually because the pressure's too low and like I don't know, like the rubber or whatever reacts. I don't know. Or you've like hit something, driven over something, or a pothole, whatever, And I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. I thought I was done with this shit. I mean, I haven't taken my car in, but like now I have another issue. I have to get a new tire. Luckily, I got my tires at Costco. That's my recommendation for everyone is get your fucking tires at Costco because their warranty is fucking lit. I only have to pay $60 because they prorate it basically that I've only used like I've only used basically $60 worth of the tread on that tire, so they're only charging me the amount that I've used to get a whole new one, and luckily I only need one because my other 3 are like they're pretty much brand new anyways, whereas it would have been like over $300 for that new tire and everything. And then I'm going to try and get that covered by ICBC as well because it's like, yeah, that clearly it's the exact tire that I drove over it with, like let's get it covered please, like I'm getting my mud flap covered and everything. So that's a whole thing. But I'm going to drop off the car in like early April or something. And then they're going to fix the panel. And then I have to wait like a month before I can get it re-ceramic coated because the paint has to sit and everything. I'm like, fuck, man. That's just
Jesus.
a fucking pain in the ass, I'll tell you.
Just take the SkyTrain.
Girl, I can still drive it luckily. But yeah, no.
It's better than the bus.
I don't have my route is not like I still have to take the bus if I were
I'll
to
rather
transit.
walk.
I cannot remember the last time I took the bus.
Could've been
I can't.
Could it
no.
be me, passenger princess?
I will
But
hop in an
could it
Uber
be me?
before I
I
take a
love
bus.
driving.
No, I will walk
Like with
in rain.
before I
with what
take a
happened
bus.
to me,
Yes.
yeah, with what happened to me last year, like given the thing that happened, like I was basically almost told like I might not be able to drive again. Bitch, the depression I would have plummeted into
No,
being told that I could never drive again, like not to get, trigger warning, like I'm done. Cause like, what the hell? What am I supposed to do? I can't drive. Like that's like enjoyment for me. It's autonomy, right? Like that's
Listening
fucked
to
up.
music and having podcasts.
There is nothing better.
Literally.
No.
bitch. There really is nothing better. Also, I also think about like, what was I doing before I was able to drive?
Yeah. Well, you were late too. Like I was
Okay,
right on top of it,
that's a
but
whole other
in
thing
general, yeah,
itself. But I was like, now that I drive, I'm like, what the hell was I waiting so long for?
literally.
But driving can be a bitch. Like sometimes I hate it, but it is
As
nice.
we have found out last episode.
Yes. But it is nice. Cranky little music up. Hey.
It's my me time, literally.
It is nice. Driving is nice.
Oh yeah.
I don't even remember what happened, honestly, because like we already talked about this. I don't fucking remember anything. But what I do remember,
Oh.
to anyone that has pets, they are literally children. And also, anyone that knows me knows that I have, like, the worst luck in the world. Like, anything bad that will happen will probably happen to me. Like,
Yep.
I don't know. All this beauty, you know, you gotta make up for it somehow. You know what I'm saying? And it's with luck. And unfortunately, my cat has an obsession with water. He's a dog. I don't know. This cat literally plays fetch, everything. Like, he's just a freak.
Her pet is a cat, just to be clear, because you said she's a dog, and, like, I know what you meant by that, but, like, people might think your pet is a dog, but
the way might as well be.
I don't even know if
But
you said or not.
he was like, so he likes water, so then we've had issues with him, like, touching the water filter thing, because we have, like, a water filter, and then we put, like, the 20-liter jug of water in there, and you know, he likes to press the button and watch the water just, like, drop. And then it catches in, like, this little catch-all thing, but, like, only so much water can catch in that. So we were like, oh, we'll just get him, like, a water fountain so then he can watch the flow of water. And I guess when I was sleeping at one point, he ran out during the night, so I couldn't refill it. And what did he do? I woke up and it was like, okay, fine. I woke up really early during the day, came, nothing was fucked up. Then I wake up again. Well, I was awake the whole time, but I was just, like, reading in my room. And I get around, like, 11, and tell me why the floor's wet. And I'm like, oh, maybe his fountain just
like the
something
carpet,
happened.
or no? I mean, like what did you feel? Because I know, but, like,
It was like my socks.
But, like, were you on
got
hardwood
soaked.
or, like, your carpet?
The carpet.
Ooh.
So then I'm like, okay, maybe the water spilled. And then I don't even know how I went into my laundry room to then figure it out, but we had literally just put a new jug in the filter the night before, and that thing was less than halfway full. Like, there was, like, a third of water left because this fucking cat decided to drain the whole thing, and it literally, my entire laundry room was full of water. Thankfully, my laundry room is, like, tile or whatever, so like, I have to take everything out and, like,
Get the towels.
Literally, I was, like, swimming in my laundry room. And then I had, like, these shelves that I had in there because I was gonna do a little project with them or whatever, and they're glass shelves, tempered glass to be specific. So I take them from point A to point B, and it's literally like I take them out of the room and then, like, turn to put it, like,
Where were they? Like, on the ground, or
they were, like, leaning against the wall. And yeah, so I was, like, picking up. There's two of them. They're, like, back to back, and they're, like, these long glass shelves. And I literally just picked it up and, like, went to the kitchen to put it, like, against, like, something, just because I'm cleaning in there. I needed to get in there. And then apparently tempered glass and tile do not mix, because before I had it in both of my hands, and before I even, like, had put it all the way down, and I didn't even put it down heavy. It was nothing. This whole thing, boom, just, like, explodes in my face. Like, it literally was like a bullet went off, and it just glass shattered everywhere, in my face, on the kitchen, in the freaking living room. Some got in the closet. Like, it was the most insane thing ever. And I remember just sitting there for, like,
I don't know what I would have done. I would have just
10 minutes.
I think I would have grabbed my
Processing.
keys and I just would have left.
I was like,
what the fuck do I do? Yeah.
because, like, and I don't even know how I didn't have anything on my face. Like,
I was gonna say,
my
and
glasses
walked out
have
without
a
a
little bit of a
scratch.
scratch, which sucks, but it's not, like, noticeable when I see, or you can't really see it. But there's that, and then I still hadn't even finished cleaning up the water, so I had to take everything out of there.
And it's on water.
And it's, like, tempered glass
now.
breaks
And you
up in,
can't
like,
see glass when it's wet.
it breaks up, like, little squares.
It's so tiny. Yeah.
Like, I don't.
Yeah.
I
It's,
think the point of it is to be, like, safer or something, like when if it were to shatter, it's supposed to kind of retain its shape or
Like,
whatever.
be a little
But
chunkier, I guess, so it's easier.
I
to
don't
it
know,
is
bro.
chunkier, but it flies everywhere. So
Yeah.
that was some bullshit. Basically, the thing with tempered glass and tile is, like, because tile is, like, obviously when we walk on it and, like, when we touch it, it's smooth, but it's, like, rocks, right?
Rigid.
So a little bit of a touch, like, it's sharp, and then
Yeah.
it triggers the tempered glass and it fucking breaks. So that was just the highlight of my freaking month. And then working.
Oh, because we've been, like, the universe has been saying "fuck you," huh?
No, like,
Because
I
what the
don't know.
hell?
What did I do? What did I do? I
Literally.
know I did something in the
You
past life.
have bad luck with things like breaking, because I remember when you had, like, a really big mirror, and I can't remember what happened, but it broke. But you
Yeah.
have bad luck when it
I have
comes
bad
to
luck
stuff
with
like that.
everything. I have bad luck with people. I have bad luck with crackheads. I have bad luck with literally anything. People don't want to go out with me because whenever we go out, someone's yelling at us. And it's not even really at us, it's at me. Anyways,
What was that guy when we went to go get the tattoos?
I went around there last.
What did he say? Where did he say you're from? Ethiopia.
Yeah.
Ethiopian bitch. What did he say?
He was standing against the wall with his leg up, like he's, whatever, chilling. I was with Aiesha, her cousin, and her friend. We were supposed to get tattoos, didn't end up happening, whatever. We're walking up to go back to the car, and this guy literally is looking me in my eye. Keep in mind, there's 3 black bitches around, but I'm the only one he looks at, and he was like, fuck you, go back to fucking Ethiopia. And I look at Aiesha and Chantel, I'm like,
I know he's not talking to
and
me.
I'm looking around me in
like,
my eye,
there
I'm
must
like,
be someone that he knows
because I'm
behind
not from
us.
Ethiopia.
Like, where did he even, like, why Ethiopia? Like, so random.
And then I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So we're passing him. Yeah, fuck you. And he's just pointing at me, looking me dead in the eyes. And
That's
I'm like,
crazy.
What the fuck is going on? So we keep walking, and I look, because I'm still confused. You points at me, middle fingers me, and then I yelled back at that fucking bitch. I said, I said, fuck you, blah, blah, blah. Whatever, like, fuck you. I don't know. I went off, but it was just like,
No.
and he had crutches too, and he was flinging them in the air.
Around.
It was just like real craziness.
Yeah,
Real
I don't
crazy.
know. On your forehead, attack me, and we all can't see it except for them.
Invisible ink, except for crazy people.
Yep.
Yeah,
That
so
must be what it is.
that was my kind of week, I guess.
Is it my turn?
Mm.
Okay. Once again, not week. This was 2 weeks. I think 2.5 weeks. I don't know.
Who knows
I
at
went
this
to
point?
Mexico, which was very nice. Because we all know I've been on a vacation a very long time, so it was very needed, especially before I ship myself off to school and I have no life, so I needed to get out of Vancouver. And it was fun. You guys know me though. I'm a little anxious about everything. I'm always like, oh my god,
Really?
you bitch. The way I was like, yeah.
Oh my god.
What do you mean? Yeah, you guys know how I am. Overthink things. I'm always like thinking, what is the worst possible thing that can happen? And of course, you're going on a plane. The plane's gonna fucking crash. Which also, might I add,
Not with the Boeing thing happening recently, bitch.
thank fucking God I left and I got back before that was like a big thing.
I would have been a
Wait,
mess.
what?
Do you not know what's happening with like Boeing right now?
Girl.
No.
There's
Doors
like
ripping off,
all these
wheels
issues
falling off.
with planes, and it's only like the Boeing
737 Max,
737
whatever.
Max 9 and like Max 8 or something like that. Only that plane. A door flew off. There was a couple other things.
Wheel fell off.
wheel
A lot
falling
of
off.
emergency landings, like engines
An
literally
engine
failing.
Also,
Girl.
when I got back, I don't know if this was the Boeing one, but there was a plane that took off and then randomly just nosedived, whatever,
nosedived.
500 feet. And like so many people got hurt. Like people like flew up to the top of the plane, like because they didn't have their seatbelts on and stuff like that. Because they were already like up in the air. So I guess the seatbelt sign was off already.
Oh, got you.
But yeah, like obviously I'm already like thinking like, oh my god, I'm gonna get on this plane, like what happens, which is crazy too because things rarely happen on planes.
It's
and
like I can't remember what the percentage is, but of
driving
you, like,
is more dangerous.
But still,
in a
with
plane
this
crash
stuff
is
happening,
very
like so, like literally within the last like month, there's been like so many
It's
cases.
very creepy. And
Yeah.
it was like when I was towards the end of my trip, I kind of started seeing like some like TikToks. It was weird, like girls being like, I'll never get on this Boeing 737 blah blah blah. And then I literally checked our flight and it's like Boeing
was that
737
one.
Max
Of course
8
it
and I'm
is.
like,
Yeah.
are you fucking kidding me? Like with my luck, that's the plane that we're getting on.
I already was like apprehensive with like, you know, Flair and like those kind of places or whatever. Now if like that's a Boeing as well, absolutely
Yeah.
not.
And even while I was there too, there was also, I'm pretty sure it was a full-on plane crash that killed all Canadian passengers. They were coming from like
think I
Kansas
heard
or
about
something
this.
like that. And I was literally sitting there and I was
So
like,
fucked up.
and then I told my mom and she's like, thanks for telling me. And I'm like, if I have to suffer, so do you. I'm not going to be suffering
death row,
alone.
nigga. We in it for life.
Like, hello? And she was like, thanks for telling me. And I'm like, yeah, well, we're in this together.
No, because fuck you when you do that shit. If I had to see you all had to see it, and I'm looking at some
Yeah.
fucking spider shit.
I was
That's my
thinking
favorite
of
thing to
Kelcey.
do, man. If I had to see it, we
Nah,
all
because
gonna see
Kelsey's
it.
on the fucked up gay Twitter. She's on gay
your
Twitter
stuff
more
is
than I
always
am.
gross.
Dude, you know what I just saw? But I spared everyone. This is
Let me guess what you
This
saw.
is-
Hold on.
okay. Go.
Does this something to do with a movie in
Yep.
any way?
Yep.
Does that have something to do with a popcorn bucket?
Yep.
I know exactly what you saw. The guy fucking the dune bucket.
I don't even want to know.
No.
Okay,
I
you've
don't
seen
know.
Not know
you've
the-
seen the dune bucket. Girl, she's not on gay Twitter at all.
yeah, I
The
have,
dune
I have.
bucket.
Yes,
And how
I
everyone's joking about how it's a fleshlight.
Yes,
A dude
yes.
fucked it.
Like, literally, I was just going through,
I
and
shouldn't
you see
even
this
be
guy.
surprised.
I'm like, I don't know. It doesn't really make sense because, like, the hole is too big.
it. I
What?
was like, what are you doing?
No.
The hole is, like, way
It's
too
like,
big.
girl, your dick is not like getting stimulated.
You
Sorry.
know? So, unless there's, like, a pocket pussy or, like, a pocket butthole in there, like, I just that you're, like, fucking with it. It just doesn't make sense. And, like, it's also, like, okay, you're doing it. Let's say you have this gigantic cock, and then you're going, and then it's hitting the bowl. Like, or
The end of the bucket.
yeah.
No, that bucket was pretty big.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, he
Yeah.
was like, and I'm like, what the
Where was he?
in
He's
his
just on his bed,
Okay,
yeah.
I thought it was like in the movie theater
No,
or something
no.
weird
No,
like that.
no. It was just like, yeah, it was one of those. So, anyways, I didn't send
It's
that,
all over,
but
yeah.
Turns out,
Thank you.
Matthew
Honestly,
already
that
said it.
seems like the most like
No, but you've sent some fucked up stuff that I haven't even
because
seen
if
yet.
it's really fucked up, I'm not gonna be alone.
Yeah. On side note though, I did see actually like a cool way of using it is like somebody put it like on their like coffee table and then like put their like remotes in it to kind of hold it. I was like, oh, that's cute. But it was funny because like as soon as I think I was talking about it at work or whatever, I was like, oh, did you see like I saw this thing of like somebody using the popcorn bucket or whatever, and they're like, oh god, and it's like of course they're gonna think about that. I'm like, well, no,
I mean,
but then you did it.
of course.
That's that like who the fuck? What white man
Are
in a
you
fucking
really surprised,
enterprise
though?
level meeting was like, I have a great idea.
Yeah.
And nobody. This is why you need gay people on your fucking team because
No,
they would have said,
literally.
"That's a flashlight, sir."
Or maybe they like obviously knew it, and they're like, fuck it.
Oh, fully.
You know,
I bet.
Like,
Just like the sofa cum.
yeah,
They
just
knew.
like sofa
They
cum.
knew
Yeah.
what they were doing.
They had to have.
They did.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, speaking of death and dying, while you're on your trip in Mexico,
Yeah. We went to a party resort. And when we went, it happened to be spring break for, I guess, universities in the States. And it's not something you really think about, but like, my mom said 5 people literally died while we were there. All like super freak accidents and all people that are under the influence just doing.
I was gonna say, wasn't some of them like ODs?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, at least this is what we heard from a different couple who had talked to some of the staff that worked at the resort that we were staying at. 2 people had overdosed. 1 person was climbing the balconies to get to their friend's level and fell.
Girl.
And then
way to go
1 person was found in the middle of the night, like laying by the pool by a bench or something like that. And I don't know how he
Like
died, but
unconscious,
he
yeah.
was found there. And another person was diving into the ocean and broke their neck. Yeah, which I'm not really too sure how that would happen.
That's crazy.
But
I mean, if you land the wrong way in the water, like it's like hitting
yeah,
a wall.
and mind you, like the oceans or the beaches in Cabo are not necessarily swimmable. Like most of them aren't. There's like 2 beaches that you can swim at.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there's so many signs that literally say like do not
Don't.
swim, and
Yeah.
people just don't listen. Like
Yeah.
when we were there, I literally witnessed a girl almost get dragged in, and she wasn't even that far out.
That's
So
so scary. I don't fuck with the ocean, man.
Water's
no,
scary,
I'm
bro.
like, and I'm like, I had swim lessons. Like I know how to swim.
Yeah.
Like even my dad is a strong
Yeah.
swimmer, and he was like, I'm not getting in that.
No
Like, you will
way.
not catch
No.
me.
No
Absolutely
way, it's
not.
not worth it.
No, not at all. Like I was literally where the water like washes up, and even then like sitting on the ground, it was like dragging me, like pulling me back. So
You know, when you said that thing about like how like people were dying, it's crazy because like obviously people like die when they go on vacation. Like it happens all the time, but you don't realize
Think
it.
of
Or you don't
about
think
it.
that like you'll be there,
Yeah.
like kind of witnessing it, or like
And it makes
Yeah.
me think of I don't know if I talked to you guys about it, but like the cruise ships
yeah,
and stuff.
we were talking
Oh,
about
like
that.
there's morgues. I didn't
Yeah.
know this.
Yes.
There's fucking
But
morgues
the
on cruise
morgues
ships.
only have like 2 spots, so they do. Well, you talking
Yeah,
about
they're
that,
like,
right?
so
The
they'll,
ice
like,
cream.
They
so
dump 'em in
they're
the
like,
ocean?
if you have an ice cream party or whatever when you're on your cruise, it's probably because they ran out of space and
They
that
needed
is
to
put some
put
bodies
someone
in the
in
That
there.
gives me
freezer.
like inside Disney tea, you know, like that kind of stuff you hear is like, ooh, there's some shady shit going on.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
fucked up.
It's
Yeah.
like it's like okay, you think about it like ignorance is bliss. So
Yeah.
when you're like,
Yeah,
Mhm.
for sure.
gives you the G-base.
Speaking of Mexico, like it just made me remember like my trip a while ago and like being in the club, and then you know it's the white folks, you know, Macarena, you know, gets them going,
Macarena.
and the black people come in. Pussies literally popping. Literally popping they pussies, getting them ate on the fucking
No,
club.
that was
I was getting my
crazy.
whole life. And they were wearing what's the fucking, I'm gonna get so dragged for this. Step Up, not Step Up, the cheerleading movie, the famous like, you know,
Bring it.
Bring it on.
Bring It On. Yes. They were wearing those full costumes, everything.
Clovers.
Pussies
I know, that's
popping.
right.
I was getting my whole life. It was
I
so
actually kind
good.
of remember those.
Yeah. And then like there was always like one pool that like all of them would be at, and it's like that's the one that like the
People
party
clearly
was
just
going.
turn wild up in Mexico.
Yeah.
No, literally.
I don't know if it's because I was there during spring break, but people were just
No, it's because like
Cabo!
yeah.
yeah.
Oh hell no.
And that was mainly the
Whites.
the white folk.
See, I've gone to Mexico a numerous amount of times, and I've never ran into that. I've also gone with my family, and I've also never been in Mexico where I'm in a club. Like, I was of
This was in
age,
my
but I wasn't
resort. This
going
was
to.
not
No,
even in a
and-
club. This
See,
was
yeah,
in
my
the
resorts
resort.
were not like that. Like,
Okay,
they
this
were
was.
grown.
I think it's because it was one of the Ryus, and the Ryu that we were at was like the
Was the party one.
Ryu.
Got
Like, there's
you.
4 parties a week, 2-day parties, 2-night
Even
parties.
like the one we were at was not. It was like a kid friendly one. Like there was like a kids like water park and everything. It's just like, and the club we were at was like just a sports bar that turned in that had
Yeah.
a DJ booth,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
but
yeah.
the
It's
party
still-
will come when the people are there.
Listen,
So,
listen.
they'll create
Get
the
a little
party.
tequila in your system.
No,
Yeah.
literally, I
People
never
can
thought I'd
act
see the day, but I
crazy.
was living. It was
Apparently,
great.
the clubs in Cabo are actually really fun, though. And I mean, obviously, I would go, like, just
But,
if I was there,
yeah,
but
you
I
go
was
with your
with
mommy
my
and daddy,
parents. Like,
like,
come on. So with your friends, like, it would definitely be good. It was a really good trip. It was really fun. Super glad I got to go. I'm happy that I did go and kind of like got on the plane and realized like, okay, everything's fine, even though all these planes are fucking crashing and shit. But it definitely made me more comfortable and more like, okay, like, that wasn't bad. So like I'm more fine with like going to other places. But yeah, it was really fun. I got sick as fuck after.
Girl,
My
it always
God.
happens.
I was expecting it. I was like, no one travels, especially to Mexico, and comes back and does not get sick.
For me, it was the
for
opposite.
yourself.
I was sick up to
Really?
the day I fucking left. Fuck that.
You were sick while you were there?
No, to the day up to the day I left. Remember, like I went to the hospital because like, and they wouldn't give me shit.
yeah.
This bitch wrote fucking what was the lozenges, or whatever, fisherman's friend. I went to the fucking hospital, waited 4 hours. They wrote fisherman's friend on a fucking RX strip.
Friends? Are you serious?
Yes,
right now?
bitch. I was like, because they were like, oh, well, it's not like an infection or whatever, so we can't give antibiotics. I'm like, give me fucking something, because this has been happening for fucking whatever. I think it was whatever type of strain of COVID or whatever, but like I don't fucking know what was going on, but I was downing fucking Robitussin, and I hate liquid Robitussin, but that's what did it for me. I fucking hate it, but it worked.
Yeah, I don't know. I swear I had COVID, but all the tests were negative. All 3 of my parents, we all tested.
There
I
was,
always
like,
tested
a
negative,
bad
yeah.
flu going around. Like a lot of people were getting
Yeah.
whatever the sickness is that you.
Oh,
had.
it
A
was
lot of people I
bad.
know were
Yeah.
getting it.
It
Oh,
was.
yeah.
There was a point where like, like you're sick, you go to bed, you wake up, you feel a little bit better. Not 100%. There was like 3 days in a row where I'd like go to bed, wake up, and I'd still feel like absolutely 100% like shit. And I was like, is this even gonna end? And then you start reminiscing, like, remember all those times when I was healthy and like
Oh,
I
no.
wasn't fucking sick?
Like, what does it feel like? I don't know.
Literally.
Yeah,
What
I
does
hate
it
those
feel
nights
like
where
to
like
breathe out of both nostrils like
Yeah.
normally. So thank God I'm healthy now. But all in all, good trip, 10 out of 10.
Per.
love that.
Yeah.
I miss Mexico. I want to go.
Oh, actually, sorry. I want to say one more thing. You know how people always say like, oh, going on vacation like with your partner or like with your friends is like the true test. Being on this trip, and me and my mom, me and my mom, we were just sitting there like just listening, eavesdropping on people's conversations.
Oh, I love it.
There was one couple the whole time we were there.
Oh God.
I would see them in the morning, they'd be fine. Halfway through the day, I see the guy. You stupid bitch! You're so
Whoa.
annoying. You're so ungrateful. And the girl's like,
The wrong one. What the fuck?
love me. Like you could tell they were so toxic.
Yeah.
Crying. The girl be crying, and then we'd see them at dinner, happy again.
Yeah.
What
Next
the
day.
hell?
Kelcey, I think
Oh my
I saw them
gosh, that's
4
so
days in a row,
exhausting.
Yeah,
and
like,
every time I'd see them, they'd be good. Couple hours later, bad.
You're like, life's a movie for real, huh?
I was
Because-
like, damn.
Wow.
but you're watching the
Vacation
same
really
movie
is the
over and
test.
over and over again.
Yes.
That's fucking boring.
Yeah.
Vacation is the true test. Girls who are like, I'm never talking to that bitch again.
Yeah, and it's always Miami. I always hear like never go to Miami with nobody. Like, do not go to Miami with your friends because they're not gonna come back the same.
Yep.
I picture you and your mom like that. Those TikToks where it's like when your neighbors are arguing, whatever. You start sweeping the
Yep.
pavement and everything.
Yep,
You start,
we'd be
you
at
start
the
dusting the
table.
pavement. What was
My
that?
mom would be like,
I
Aiesha,
love that.
come here. I'm like, what? She's like, listen to those girls. Listen to them. We just sit there pretending like
We're doing
scooping
so-
some more oatmeal. what's going on? But yeah, it's crazy how it truly is the real test to see if you are strong enough to make it through that or not. I wonder if that couple is still together.
Probably.
They probably are.
Fully.
Like,
that's just how he is. Like, she'll excuse it.
It was so funny. Then they just had like their token friend who was just like always standing there with her little vape,
that
who
poor
was just
friend
like
too.
standing there
it's
like used to this
another day.
bitch.
Yeah. It couldn't be me. That would literally ruin my trip.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was something. But
Speaking of relationships and shit, I want to talk about, like, I feel like it's a good way to kind of start was, like, I want to talk about, like, is, like, when you're out of relationships, like, friendships, whatever type of ship of some sort, but, like, then it makes you realize, like, your real friends and, like, how you feel with, like, people that you're good at communicating with. Like, we had a little situation or a little tiff, and, like, the way that we, like, communicated, the way that we even went through it, it wasn't like, if it was like my other friends that I'm like, I'm not friends with now, I would have been like, I don't really want to talk about this, and I don't want to be friends with you anymore. Whereas like, when you get older and you realize the people that are meant for you, like, things are just so easy. Like, it's really easy to just have a conversation with people that are open to dialogue, and then like, you're like, oh, like, look at us,
yeah,
you know. And I feel like we have a really good form of communication once we all get together and like speak. But then I've had some other people that I'm just like, thank God you're out of my life, honestly. But like, I guess what I want to know is just like, have you guys like outgrown friendships? Like, have you to leave things? Have you like yeah, basically that.
1000%. Yes. I like off the top of my head, like I can think of one specifically, but I've definitely had more than one relationships, friendships, that just, you know, like, it's weird because it's like, it's not something that you ever expect to happen, but you'll kind of just like sit and like be like, oh yeah, like what about this person? And you'll be like, things feel a little bit, you know, different now. And then like you kind of realize like maybe we're literally drifting apart.
Oh, okay. So you've had like moments where it's like you've had to think about it a bit and then realize.
Yeah, it's never something like I can feel that, like, you know, we're kind of drifting apart. It's always like it has already kind of like happened, if
and
that makes sense.
Like, realize.
And then I'm like, oh, I haven't talked to this person in X amount of time. And then the other thing with that is also like, it's a matter of, I don't, just like, depending on how the friendship was, like, if it was a really good friendship, I'm going to try my best to
make it work
and bring us back together.
Yeah.
Then you have the ones where it's like, I don't even care.
Yeah.
I literally, like, do not even give two shits that we're not talking anymore.
I think that's where I, like, for me, like, I'm already really, like, I think good. I've gotten to this point in my life where I'm able to pick out people that I think are good for me, and like people that I think I'm like, you're not someone that I'm going to be like this, like super tight with, and I just don't see that being a thing for you, and me. But then there's those other people that you just are like this with, and like it works, and people that you're really, really close with, like you don't have arguments with like that. Like you do, but it's not the same because you don't view them kind of like it too, right? It's just like, oh, we had a disagreement, now we talk about it, cool. Whereas like when you're like, for me, I like mentally check out, and then I'm like, okay, I need to figure out a way to now like either say this or I just
dip
because we're not talking anyways. Like one friendship that I can just think of, and that's what happened, was like I was in a very different place in my life when we were friends. We were friends for a very long time, and then my mom moved, my family moved across the world. I stayed here, had to figure out my life like really young. COVID hit. It was literally like just the shittiest year, BLM. Like it was so fucking depressing. And like when I was friends with them, it was always like, me, what's about me, da da da. And I was like, oh my God, like, love the tea, loved it, because I lived with my mom, and like, I never left my house. Like, you guys would literally have to be like, Kelcey, because I just be like, I'm chill. Like, I'm just gonna stay here and like live vicariously through you guys. And then I moved into my own place and was trying to like find my identity as an adult. And then it's just, again, me. and very like not two people. It's not a relationship. It's just like a one-sided friendship. And then I'm like, when I want to talk about things, it's like brushed off. But then, okay, now back to me. And it's just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, when you're boy crazy, you know, you've had friends that were like boy crazy. And it's like, get a hobby. Like, why is your only thing like men?
Yeah.
And that's like the literal downfall of so many relationships is men.
Yeah.
Or like significant others or people that they're interested in and like just that obsession. And then that's like another thing where I'm like, I'm so not into this. Like, I don't care for this. And then, yeah, it was one of those where I'm like, I'm out mentally. And then it turned into like you trying to ask me like, whoa, why are you not talking to me anymore? Why is this? And I feel like this, and placing blame on me. But then I'm like, okay, like you can't see like anything.
Like already
there.
that's
like,
a poor way to bring it up. It's
yeah.
like, why is it,
like if you really gave a shit,
yeah.
Sure, maybe I could have said things, but when I'm out of something and I check out, like, what is there to say?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a person that really needs closure personally. Like, if I've already decided in my head, like, I'm not fucking with something or I'm, like, over it, like, I'm, like, kind of over it.
You've
like,
given yourself the closure,
yeah. But, like, if it gets to that point, obviously we weren't that close. Because if we're close, it would never get to that. So it was like, okay, I'm out, and then now you're kind of placing blame on me. I call you out, say exactly what I'm feeling. Then it's like, well, da-da-da-da, you should have said this, or, oh, well, this and that. And you're like, okay, here we are. And then we talk shit about people because we're friends, and that's what friends do. And then you go back to the people that you talk shit about. And then I'm like, see, that's
No, because where's
my
the loyalty?
intuition right there.
Yeah.
And I know you're telling all my business to them because you tell all their business to me. And I'm like, I would never do that. Like, if I'm not friends with you, I'm not going to go and tell everyone your business. Like, after we've been being friends, like, that's still something that was between us and it was sacred, and I'm not going to go share that unless like maybe we have a mutual friend and we all know each other, then that's a different situation.
Exactly.
But like, I'm not going to do that. Whereas like, you just know you're going and running your little motherfucking mouth, aren't you?
While you're friends,
But that's like, my like, I think that was like my friendship that I just like had to like cut the fuck off.
Yeah.
And call it.
I think it's so like multifaceted. There's a lot of different like ways that friendships end up too, because like you were talking about, you know, people that you end up super super close to, and it's like there are still people who like are some of my closest friends like I don't talk to, like I talk to them like once a month, maybe once every whatever.
Those friendships.
Yeah, and it's like I feel like especially with ADHD too, it's like it's not that I'm avoiding you, whatever. It's just that like I have your message left unopened so I can remember at some point to get to talking to you and replying and all that. And it's just like, thank God for like those kind of relationships too, where it's like, you know, there's different versions of like how it plays out and how relationships can either continue or not. And
yeah. I think elaborating on to what you just said, I feel like for me at least, I've had, you know, friendships where it's like we just kind of grew up and now we're just like two completely different people. And, you know, like our morals and our interests are just different, you know, from when we were in grade 9 till now, like we're 23, like it's different. Those ones I think are more like not like sad necessarily for me. Like I can still look back at those friendships and be like, oh, like, you know, that was a good time in my life. Or like
at the time,
you know, like if a memory comes up, like I can still message that person and be like, oh my God, remember when this happened? Like that was so funny. I think the one that's like, ooh, like I think that I started experiencing more when I was getting into my 20s was the friendships where, like I was saying earlier, like where you literally just do not see it coming at all. And it's like you kind of look back and it's like, you know, we did have good times, but at the same time it's like, okay, we've grown apart and like I can reach out to you to see like what's going on, but if I'm not getting that back, then what's the point, you know? And I think like in high school, for example, like I would always be the one who would be like, no, like we're friends, like let's make this work, like really push to make it work. But now that I'm older, I'm like, I don't need this. What's the point?
It's not serving me.
If you're not gonna give me the same energy, like why am I trying so hard if you clearly do not give two shits?
And we literally do not have time. Like,
no,
it just got schedules and
like things to
lives
do
and partners,
exactly,
and all this other shit.
And it takes a lot to like get to that point too, because like even like myself in high school, like I feel like I was very like wanting to make it work and like, you know, scared of, you know,
If you
what
lost
happens
that
if you're,
person.
because it's like in high school, you know, everything's so dramatic or whatever. It's like, if you're not friends with them or whatever, like that just speaks on, I don't know, it's like you have no friends, and it's like, yeah, I feel like especially near the end of high school, I was just getting to the point where I was like, I'm not about like this high school shit, this drama stuff. Like I'm not into it. I don't like this stuff. I don't like people who like enjoy this. And it's like, I need to start like kind of really solidifying who I want to be in these next few years and like who I want to surround myself with and whether that aligns with like the people who are around me. And so I feel like that's where like I almost started initiating it in a way where it was like, I'm just like, I'm going to start, you know, not going to this person's place or not, you know, seeking out these kind of friendships or whatever. And like, just kind of filtering out, you know, what do I want to keep around and what am I ready to kind of like let go of for my own, you know, happiness.
Yeah. I think it's also really nice to see like the growth you have within yourself, whereas like before we'd be like, oh my gosh, like if I'm not friends with this person, like what's gonna happen? Whereas now I'm like, you're not, like, okay, bye.
Yeah.
Why am I giving all this energy and you're like literally do not give two shits?
Yeah.
So what's the point? Like I am so content with cutting someone off. Like I do not care.
Literally.
The saying, like, I would rather have 3 really good friends than I'd have 10 friends and like half of them don't even give a shit about me.
Yeah.
Literally. Yeah, I'm curious, like, at what points do you guys think that you reach that? And then I want to know if we can provide that, if we were like, I think it was actually this time, or like, I don't know, from like our perspective, because we've watched each other grow for like, I think in that, like, those most detrimental like moments of like into adulthood is when we were started like we were together and we were friends.
Yeah.
So like for me, I feel like I reached that point like when I was 19, I think. Like the way that I worked with the relationships, my high school experiences, like I had a lot of those moments where like friends cut you off, and I literally experienced that, and I'm like, oh, it's not the end of the world. Like it feels like it in the moment because like literally you're by yourself or whatever. But I experienced that, so it wasn't like that big a deal. Like when I came to your guys' school, like I didn't have friends. Like I like said hi to people, but like I literally would like sit alone at times and stuff, and I was like content with it and I didn't give a shit. But then I ended up meeting people, you guys, but it was like after, like, I don't know, you know what I mean? So there was that, but like that friend that I had, it was like at, I think 19, and after that, like,
Didn't phase you anymore.
nope.
Yeah. For me, I think that like I came to that realization, I think, when we were in like quarantine and lockdown. That for me was like the real, like a big test for my relationships with other people and how strong they were. And you know, like you just see how people, like how they really are. And like I lost a lot of friendships because, you know, I might have been going through my own things and they didn't hear from me for a while, and they just took that as like I didn't care about them. And instead of reaching out to me and being like, hey, like, is everything okay? They were just like, oh, well, you haven't talked to me in blah, 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 this amount of time.
That.
So,
I hate tit for tat.
like, fuck you. And I'm like, okay, like, what? You didn't even think to reach out to me. Like, friendships are 2 ways, babe. Like, why? You know
what?
so,
They showed you who they are, so it's like,
exactly. So I saw that and I'm like, all right, well, there's nothing left here for us to do, because like, why would I want to be friends with someone who's like that?
Exactly.
But yeah, I think COVID, so like probably when I was around 20-ish, I think is when I was super content with being like, if you're not gonna serve me, like, I'm gonna cut you off.
I actually do think that's accurate. Like during COVID is when like all of like the people that like were not dead weight, I'm gonna say, but like
it really filtered out those people, because it was like, who
100%.
are you talking to? Who are you, you know, communicating with and like reaching out to? And like, you know, we can't see each other or anything like that, but it was like, you know, as soon as we could, like we were going to the park to have like our picnic or whatever. It's like those other people kind of like faded away, I guess.
Yeah.
I think it also, for me, like really showed me how strong and how weak some of my friendships were, because you know, at least for me, and maybe that's just how I operate, but like I cannot talk to you for like 2 months and then talk to you and everything's
as
like,
if it
it's
wasn't,
fine.
Yeah.
Like I'll use Chantel for example, because I know we've talked about it so many times. Like, it could also be because like we're kind of family-ish.
I was gonna say like that's
it's a little bit different, but like I cannot talk to Chantel for like 3 months and like talk to her and everything's fine.
Yeah.
And like, you know, like we may butt heads at like stupid things or get in stupid arguments, but it's one of those friendships that it's like you can't get rid of me, bitch.
Yes.
You know, like, and no matter what,
you can't get rid of me, bitch.
literally, like, you cannot get rid of me, bitch. No matter how hard you try, like, I'm not going nowhere. So it is really nice to have those kind of friendships where like we may not talk for who knows how long, but like we'll always come back and still be like, you know,
you need the balance, because it's also just not like sustainable to be like constantly seeing your friends all the time. Like it just is, it just literally is impossible. And if that's what's required, then like you are not going to be happy.
I feel like there's this unrealistic expectation too, and like I feel like it almost affects some people in a way. And I feel like I felt that almost where it's like you feel like you should be seeing each other all these times or whatever, and if you're not, it's like that's not a good relationship. Then you're made to feel like, oh, like, you know, I'm not being a good friend, or like we're not actually friends because we're not seeing each other. And it's like it's this huge like, you know, thing that we see, you know, if you're really friends, you see each other all the time, and it's like, no, you can literally be friends and literally just text each other once a month, whatever. You don't, let alone seeing each other. But it's like we see these like, you know, I don't know, on social media and everything, like how friendships are and those kind of things, how they should be and how we think they should be, and it's like that's not the case at all. I feel like for like going back to, you know, when exactly that kind of happened, I feel like for me a lot of it was about like having like experiencing friendships that were like the right ones and the right people to kind of realize like, oh, like the ones that I had that I thought were that those ones weren't actually at all. So it took like having those real friendships, whether I feel like a lot of it was mostly outside of high school, whether it was like, you know, even in like at work, or, you know, having friends that they made from work, and it's like seeing how, you know, I didn't have to always reach out to them, and like actually having people reach out to me was like, oh, like this is how a friendship like actually kind of should work. And like that's kind of what brought it up for me and like made me realize like, oh, this is what I need to like stop giving my energy to if I feel like I'm getting to that point. Because in high school I felt very much like I was that person, like always reaching out, and like I didn't, even if I wasn't getting something back, it was like, or I would get like bare minimum back, to be like, oh, perfect, like that's good, that's fine.
Yeah, good enough.
I mean, yeah, in high school, like you're the ultimate people pleaser. Like that's just like the environment that's brewed. Like you're all in this cesspool of people pleasing, and you can't help it. And like if you don't, then you're obviously a bitch, and you're not going to be a part of the group, and you can't hang.
Fully. And that's the problem too, is like it's groups too, like
cliques. Ooh, cha.
Yeah.
All the cliques, and then it's just like, where are they now? These top dogs.
No, because even though they're like, you know, still might be in their groups or whatever, you know, it's just as toxic as it was in high school too.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
And that's when you peaked.
Yep.
If that's even considered a peak, girl. Like,
we look at some. When you go to your like, will you guys go to your like reunion or whatever, like that thing?
I don't know if you would go. I am 1,000%
I want to go.
going.
Are you kidding me?
Really?
Oh, yeah.
You were very much like, when we graduated, you were like, fuck high school.
Yeah, because I was like, fuck all of them, whatever. But now it's like, I'm going to show them. I'm going to show up. Man,
no, because when you pull up and you see people receding hairlines.
I want to go. I want to see what all of you look like. I want to see.
No shade. Like, I know it's everyone gets it, but it's just, you know, just.
When
let
the
us
people
have this one.
When the people have like, you know, you deserve that one,
you know,
right? Like, karma, right?
It's
Not
like,
you know.
Look at you now.
And might I say, it's
Big
already
boy.
hitting some of us.
Them.
Not us, but you know.
We know.
Anyways,
We know.
yes. Anyways, let's move on from that.
Oh yeah, I want to go.
So you think it was like after high school, like that's when you reached that?
Even like during high school, because like I had my job, like I had my first job at 16, so it was like even then I was experiencing like outside of high school like relationships and like having people like that. Most of them were obviously older, and so like being able to see that, like I feel like that's where I gained a fair bit of maturity a little bit, is like, and that's I feel like what kind of drove me to have that feeling near the end of high school to be like, I'm fucking done with this. I'm not entertaining this. And at times I feel like maybe I came off harsh or whatever, of like kind of just like.
You definitely liked the tea.
I did,
you
but.
Did like. You definitely. Yeah.
But like in certain ways, I feel like I was also just more just about like, if I'm going to like say something or whatever, like let's just get it out in person. Like I wasn't about like near the end for sure. I was just about like, if you have a problem, like, let's talk about it now, please, because I'm not down for like this whole gossiping thing or whatever. Like, just fucking say it. Like, have the balls to say it, and like, let's get it over with, right? So,
Yeah.
I feel like in the line of work that I work with, it did also teach me, because I started like, I think 15 maybe, and it did show me, like, you just see so many people, like, and it's like short moments, and you see these people, you pick up, hey, let's do this, we hang out, blah blah, or you see personalities and see people for who they are in a quick moment, and then I'm able to, and because I think that's another reason why I'm really good intuitively at like being able to see who's good for me as a friend, or who I think I can connect with and who I can't, off of like a bit of a conversation. Like, I'm able to get that vibe already, and I think that's how it kind of taught me some of this stuff, because then moving into like high school, like again, but like going into the school that you guys were at, like how I would have been before and how I would have navigated that would have been so different, because I'm like, whereas like I literally didn't give a shit, like, you know?
that's rare for high school.
It's
so that was
rare.
a whole other thing.
Yeah, and I think it's that thing where like when you work with people, that's when you realize like life outside of that.
Yeah, because it's like I feel like I was separating myself from people who were just like stuck in that mindset of like, oh, like high school, and it's like it's so important, and like I'm just stuck in this world. But I was kind of like already like moved on, right, and like I'm ready for like my career, and like, you know, to just further my education in this other place where like I know I'm not gonna like see you all the time or whatever, and it's like I'm not like stuck on like, oh my god, like we didn't like go to the party together, so like this means, but I'm like can I rely on you or not? Like,
Literally.
you know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. You definitely I feel like how you navigated like friendships and stuff like that went from like it was almost like one day you were like, you know, how you kind of were before, then it was like next day it was like completely different. And I definitely noticed that that kind of switch. But I think we've all been through some some doozies still, even to this day.
oh yeah.
I'm still like, you know, there's people that I talk to and I'm like, I just know in like 5 years, like, we're not going to be friends. I know for a fact.
Yeah. And like you need those, like, people serve a purpose in your life.
100%.
I fully believe that. And like,
People are in your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime.
boom, preach, and it's true.
And it is also really nice when you do find those friends that you can tell like you're not going nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, you're really not going nowhere. And I think I feel that way with both of you. I feel like if we were not going to be friends, I think we already would not be friends now.
At this point,
I think like at this point
these two,
we 100%
Matthew
would
and
not
Aiesha
be friends.
would
No,
make
we
them
got
like
history.
old, like married couples. Like the way that they would fight, I literally would just sit there in the back of the car like,
Like, what the fuck?
It's just, we know how to push each other's buttons.
yes,
Like, you know.
and like you guys had so much more time together in high school and stuff, but it's just so funny. Like,
And with that too, like, it's not all great, unfortunately, too. Like, we've been involved with the same groups of people that have affected our dynamic as
100%.
individuals too, that like still to this day I feel like, you know, can bring up certain things like unconsciously, and like it, like high school fucking like cliques and that kind of thing.
Matthew
like
and
it
I've been through
fucks
some
you
shit.
up. Yeah,
We've been through some shit.
oh, I've seen some things on Instagram between you, and I didn't even know y'all. Like,
girl.
Okay, so Matthew and I think we have both been in friend groups where we have dealt with third parties or fourth parties where they were just something, and that was a learning curve in itself.
Oh yeah.
And I think we've also dealt with things between the two of us that I like look back and I'm like,
Girl.
I cannot believe
Went to war.
Can I bring up one thing? I always think about this and I'm like,
no.
I cannot believe this happened. We were fighting about something stupid, of course. And there was a third party involved. The fight was between the two of us, but I think we were both messaging that third person and confiding in them. And that person came to me and was like, this is what Matthew was saying. Like, this is what Matthew's saying about you, and had sent me screenshots. And we all know me. I, sometimes dabble in some petty ways. And this is in the midst of spam accounts and whatnot, and I had taken the screenshot and I tagged you in it.
Blast it, yeah.
And I said, "What you say about me, bitch?" And I tagged at Matthew.
Back to
Matthew Diaz.
this bitch that had a lot to say about me in the press. Miley, what's good?
And the way people were like, "Yeah, Aiesha, yeah, Aiesha."
No, literally. And at the time, it was like, oh, my life's over. Great.
No, for real. It literally, the way that shit like that hits you like a truck and you have
fully.
anxiety.
Yeah.
Like, it is.
I feel like it really fucks with you for a long, long time, because it also just like instills this thing in me of like, I have to feel like it's like that someone's gonna pick someone else over me. And like during high school, I felt like that pretty much the entire time, that no matter who I was friends with, they were always closer to somebody else than to me. And I had to kind of like sit with that and like already assume that, and to like, distance myself enough to like protect myself of like, you're going to go and choose somebody else. And it's like, I already know that's going to happen. I'm not going to get invited to this party or whatever. And you're going to keep going along and da-da-da-da. And it's like, that's, I feel like the reason, you talked about that switch that I had was like, because at a certain point, it just weighed so much that I was like, I'm fucking done. Like, I need to like stop putting my energy into this and like just focus on myself.
Yeah, for sure. But that was a time to be alive.
Girl.
I wish you had come to the school.
Honestly,
then.
I'm glad I didn't.
I'm glad you didn't either, because I feel like that almost would have affected, like, I don't know.
I think so.
Yeah.
Probably, potentially.
You think so?
I don't know.
I was a different, like, I don't think, like, you guys, when I was in high school, like, I went through some serious shit. Like, people were mean. And, like, I was in turn mean to some people, too.
Maybe I do wish you came in then. Maybe it would have helped me.
Like...
Who knows? Maybe I would have been the one that was, I would have got attacked. Who knows?
No, for real. And like,
what I did was shiesty. I will
you was a shiesty bitch for that.
I will say it.
That was bullying.
I was fucking mad.
Yeah,
I was mad, and I said, "All right, well, I'm gonna put you on blast, and
that
everyone's
was, like,
gonna know."
Not even like that was like a different time, because I had seen something, same third party person, and I think they had posted it.
No, the amount of times
you and Miss Girl over here was in it.
Oh,
but
yeah,
you were the one that was getting blasted.
I always was.
And
yeah.
I think I didn't read it because I didn't know who the fuck you guys were, so I was like, just another one of like whatever, and I didn't give a shit. But like, I just remember kind of seeing it, and then when I met you guys, I'm like, oh,
that was the bitch.
It's you.
She said, oh. No, like the amount of times like me and Aiesha were like not friends and now friends and not friends, and it's like
it was tiring, bitch. Like
so fucking tiring.
Thinking about it now, I'm like, what was the reason?
I wish
you guys
I
were
could
real
go
high
back.
School kids.
And like I always think about this of like, if I could time travel, whatever, I'd beat the shit out of my little ass. Be like, what the fuck are you doing?
But it's just,
I beat the shit out of everyone. I'd be like,
process.
fuck you. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
It's
ruining
all,
people's
and
lives.
And you know
like
what's
this.
so crazy? It's like when I think back at that stuff, I don't necessarily regret it because like, growth. It's all a part of who you are as a person and finding yourself and whatnot. I just feel like I did it towards the wrong fucking people. Bitch.
I felt that.
Sometimes I'm just like, if I had that energy and I just gave it to those people who deserved it.
And especially like from my side of things too, like I felt like I was always kind of seeing those people, but unfortunately those people had a stronger grasp on the rest of the group to where it was like I was then the outcast because I was seeing these things going on. Then later down the line, what do we find out? This person's a bitch, and it's like, well, here I was knowing this.
It sucks when you're the outcast, and I know the feeling because I was always the outcast. Like, and it's just, I don't know why. Like, but it makes you grow tough skin, and like, I just wish, like, I think we shared that bit of like empathy and like feeling like, well, we can give another chance, and it was always to the wrong people. And it's like glad that like, oh, you guys were friends, off again friends. Like, it was different with y'all. Like, y'all literally like old couple. You guys are just a different specific vibe. But like to other people that you gave chances to, and you're like,
why? For what?
Still a bitch to this day, and everyone can speak on that. Period. But I'm glad that we were able to we never outgrew our friendship.
Yes.
Because if we didn't...
There is moments when you piss me the fuck off.
Oh, yes.
And I will just be like, I'm not going to talk to you for a week. And I just need to... And then after that, I'm like, oh, I missed you.
Yeah.
No,
but see, like that's different than like those relationships where it's like, nah, like this isn't gonna work, right?
Like I get a sibling vibe from, and that's you can only get that with a sibling, honestly, with like the type of friendships. And anytime I talk about our friendship with other friends, it's like, oh, you guys are like siblings,
basically.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
like, exactly. That's what it is.
Yeah, I remember there was one time where I think you and I hadn't talked for like 2 weeks or something like that. And my mom was like, where's Kelcey? Like, I haven't seen or heard of Kelcey. Like, you guys are always on the phone.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know why. She's fucking annoying me. Like, I can't remember what you did. You didn't even, like, do something. I think it was just, like, Mercury was in retrograde or something. I don't know what it was.
Because there's so many times. Honestly, I can't keep up.
And I was just like, she's fucking annoying me. And, like, a couple days later, I was kind of like, I'm sorry.
And then you know what she does? She'll call me. How come you haven't FaceTimed me,
No.
You know?
Kelsey,
so if I wasn't
don't
gonna call
bring
you,
it
you weren't
up.
gonna call me?
Don't bring it up if you don't want to get dragged.
What do you mean?
You want to get dragged?
Drag me, bitch.
You want to get dragged?
Drag me,
You want to
bitch.
get dragged?
Why are we repeating
Make sure to
it?
like and comment and subscribe.
No,
and that's going to end the
bitch.
episode for today. Because
I can call Kelcey every day of the week, FaceTime her, and it's not even like for a reason. Like, it's just to like have her presence there. You know how you are with your friends, like just call them just to call them, and like you talk about stupid shit and you have your moments of silence. It's whatever. And then I'll purposefully just like won't call her the next week just to see.
See, that's a problem. Why?
like, why are you doing that for?
But why? Because you never call me.
But I never call anyone. But I do call you.
I'm
more than
bitch. No, am I fucking everyone?
But no, okay. But I don't even call my
This
mom.
this is a different level, baby. This
I don't
is a
even
different
call
level.
my mom.
ADHD girl.
Bitch, no,
Like,
no.
but Aiesha, you do keep tabs. You'll be like, stop.
Yeah, because if I could like,
bitch, you'll be waiting forever. Like,
I'm like,
I will not.
okay, I understand. Like, obviously, I'm not gonna sit there like, why hasn't Kelcey called me like every fucking week?
Yeah.
But like, I think I do that when I will like spend a whole week calling you, and then I'll just be like, why am I always calling this bitch? Well, she never fucking calls me. And then she'll be like, and then sometimes you'll text me like, how come you're not talking to me?
I'll be like, where are you?
Where
Like,
have
what
you
have you
been
been doing?
We haven't hung out in so long.
I feel like it's just because like that's just like how it goes. Like you call, and it's not like a it doesn't speak on that like she doesn't want to call you. It's just that like you always call her and like she's there to receive it, you know, and that's just like
I'm
the
a very
dynamic.
good
And
receiver
sometimes
for
I
calls.
just want to feel like, you know, like you thought about me. And you're like, you know what? I want to call Aiesha.
And that's fair.
Okay, fair.
I'm like, damn, like I always got to call you. It's like, you know, those people are like, oh, how come I always have to text my boyfriend first? And then the other person, they're just like, I don't know, just how it is.
Okay. Yeah, I know. I'm not really good at initiating sometimes. I've heard this all the time. I'm working on it, but I do like it when you call me because it's
You
just...
see, you like it. I want to feel that.
Okay.
I want to like it too.
Look at us dealing with these things.
Okay, sorry. Anyway. Well, with that being said,
Yes.
Yeah.
it's another episode in the...
Wrapped.
How would you... Another episode...
the show.
We are gifting, putting in the universe.
Yeah.
Another episode you are enjoying. Something like that.
There we go.
Well,
Hope you guys liked it.
Yes.
It was a nice little more serious-ish
Yeah.
conversation, which is nice to have every once in a while, I think.
I want to get a little deep in the guts, you know what I'm saying?
In the guts.
Sorry. Yeah. In the guts.
It's a different.
Anyways, with that being said, I think it is time that we leave.
Yeah.
It is past my bedtime.
Girl.
Literally.
It's late.
The amount of times I've fought back yawns and then still yawned.
Yep.
It's time to
I'm
go.
also really hungry.
Starving.
Yeah.
So we about to go eat.
Mm-hmm.
And call it a day. Anyways, it's been lovely. Thanks for listening, guys. And we'll catch you on the next one. Bye.
Bye.